Coming up next on BBC Two, it's the Brad Woto stream. But first, it's time for...
What's under the orange flannel?
China will grow larger.
That's right. It's time for you to guess what's under the orange flannel. None of my stuff is working already. Cool. Don't need this anymore, do we really? What is that? Can you figure it out? What's under the orange flannel today? Is it a kitchen spong? A bar of soap? A bar of cheesy? Cough drops? A Noki 3310? Oh, wow. Lavender soap? Lavender soap. It's just orange flannels all the way down, sir. Or is it the first brick of the revolution? You can vote for two options because that's still selected from last time. Why not? Who cares? Can you guess what's under the orange flannel today, my friends? You think it's the first brick of the revolution? Maybe they're correct. Maybe they're not. They're not. It is in fact... Remember I said I was buying a little clock? A little clock. Remember when everyone was like, well, you could get a watch or a phone. You could get a digital sundial that you could attach to your window. When this exists. Remember when I said that clocks exist? I could just buy one of these. It was like £5. And I have a little thing that I can put it on. That is a little, like, It's actually one of those things that you would, you know, when you're driving and you used to have those things that you pull out and you put your mobile phone on. And it's like a clamp. You put your phone in there. It's one of those, but it's for this light. I have a little ring light here. It's the only thing that lights my face. And it has a little clamp on it, so I can just attach this clock to it. Hey, Brad. Instantly, you know. No one who cares about clock. Anyway, did it. So, cool. That's cool, Brad. Yeah, we really give a fuck. Cool, yeah, great. Hey, Brad, we really give a shit. Yeah, okay. Hey, Brad. Yep. We really give a shit. Mm-hmm. Sure you do. Yeah, sure, pal. Welcome to the stream. It is Sunday, my dudes. And we're going to play some D&D. I don't feel very well today. It's really... I don't know what's going on with my body. But my body does not like me anymore. What did I ever do to you, body? But I've not felt particularly well all week. I'm just preparing something for our D&D here, or at least trying to prepare it. It's not having any of it. We have a few things to get through today. We've got some upkeep to do. I did a little bit of it, but you know, I don't tend to do a huge amount of upkeep in between sessions, so I haven't done a huge amount. But I did want to think about setting up a particular companion NPC who may or may not be waiting for you. That we had to get done. Shadow sent me 108 images that he had generated online and won't join the Discord. So if you want to see Shadow's Lyri artwork, then type in the chat room, Shadow, please join Discord. Shadow, why won't you join Discord and share them in our brand new Discord fan art channel, which I'm going to open right now. Text channel, create channel, fan art, channel created. It's going to go under D&D just to try and incentivize people to, you know. Just doing the permissions thing. I forgot how annoying these are. No idea. Everyone go in there and post your favorite piece of fan art. I'll post one from campaign 1. Because we got some good ones, didn't we? There you go. Now all we need to do is get Shadow to join, and then he can share all of his art with you as well. Or at least some of the best from the 108. No, delete that message. Oh, what happened to that message? That's crazy. Oh, man. If only Shadow was able to join the Discord and share the messages, the pictures with us in the Discord channel that we created just for him. Oh, it's crazy. What happened? What happened to that message? That is weird. That's so weird how that happened all of a sudden. All right. Here we are, Sunday morning. I want Shadow to join us on Discord so badly because he only messages me on Twitch Whispers. So I don't ever see his messages because who checks Twitch Whispers? You know? I'm going to add him on WhatsApp or something just so he has some way of communicating with us. The weirdest man. The loneliest man. The loneliest man. Shadow is the loneliest man. That's absolutely fucking 100%. He is number one. You might laugh at me and Orcish and Liam and Maya.
The loneliest man
But
in the world.
I am telling you right now. Gotta be Shadow the Ret God. It has to be. Number one. Number one loneliest man. Using Twitch Whispers. Sweet Shadow. You forgot. I don't use a phone. Of course you don't. A crazy man. The Water Witch. Should have been called Shadow the Ret God. We haven't had a Shadow the Ret God in this campaign, have we? He was in the previous one. Maybe he can come back. Maybe the next lonely hermit we meet will be called Shadow. My name is Shadow. I am the night. I must conceal myself. I have to be hidden away. I'm too dangerous for society. The darkness lives within me now. Shadow's every 13-year-old boy that listens to his first metal song. The shit Liam says offline is insane. Oh, dude. I almost streamed on Saturday afternoon some Marvel Rivals. I was going to do the bounty because I'm really hard up for cash. Subscribe. Well, don't subscribe yet. Actually, I think you can subscribe right now. I think it counts towards the wheel because I've already opened the thing up. I figured out how it works now, so you should be fine. If you come in and sub early on a Sunday, it should count towards the wheel. You just won't see it. Yeah, I almost streamed on Saturday afternoon, but I haven't felt very well this weekend. I don't know what is going on. Like, I felt really good for like a week and a half. I wouldn't say really good, but you know, I definitely felt a massive improvement for like a week and a half. And then I felt a bit rough this week. Whatever happened to me on Monday didn't help. I felt really sick on Monday night. In fact, I was sick a little bit. It wasn't a huge amount of vomit, but I did throw up a little. And yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like I felt like kind of good, and then I felt really bad, and now I sort of feel not as bad as I felt on Monday, but I still don't feel very well. So I don't know what it is, man. It's not winter. I think it's still part of this weaning off of this fucking stuff. I don't know what is going on with my body. I clearly need to go back to the doctor and just double check some stuff. I've got a heart scan coming up, which is exciting. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just have not felt right this weekend at all. I just feel kind of a bit sick all the time, which I enjoy. So I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I went to see my mother this morning, and the first thing she spoke to me about, soon, like literally barely made my way in the door, and she was like, "Oh, let me tell you something. The amount of people your age getting bowel cancer." Cool, thanks, Mum. Great. It's just what I wanted to talk about. She loves it, man. She loves talking about bowel cancer. And I was like, and then we proceeded to talk about medical conditions for an hour, and then I went home. I just popped in to see her. We got some stuff needs doing. Dude, we were gonna play on Saturday Marvel Rivals, and I just didn't feel very well. Like, I felt fine, but I didn't feel great. But I didn't feel no. And then So I didn't stream yesterday, and thank fucking God I didn't. Because that would have been the end of it. It would have been done. All over. Liam in there with the just unfathomable racism. He doesn't even know what he's saying. He has no idea. Born rich. It was incredible. It was incredible. Who was on the call? Just me, you, and Ratchwack. Me, Ratchwack, and Liam playing some games. Maybe Greg was there. You see, the mistake Liam made was reading the. I don't think Orcish was there, was he? Was he there? Oh, was he there? Did he see it? That's hilarious. He was reading all chat. You know, the all chat that comes up in game chat. And people were doing that thing where they phonetically write out racial slurs. Got Liam straight away. I'm so impressed I've never been got by one of those in the chat room. A couple of times people have almost had me with them. But I don't know if I've ever been got. I think maybe in my history of streaming, someone got me once with one of them, you know. Like a ligma or something like that. But never a racial slur. Thank you, Jesus Christ, for your protection. The paladin of Jesus Christ. So yeah, Liam, dude, just on the call. Bam! And I was like, thank God I didn't fucking stream. Thank God I didn't stream. It's hilarious. He has no idea what he's doing or saying. It's great. Right. What else was I going to talk about? There was something I wanted to talk about before we got into the D&D, but I can't remember what it was. Fuck it. Don't care. Fuck you. Don't care. I finished Jessica Jones Season 2. It's taken me so long to finish. God, it's bad. Abysmal, I would say. Borderline unwatchable. I have no memory of it either. Watched the whole thing as if I'd never seen it before. Bartle Pops, thank you for the 41-month resub. Let's see if that... Should we see if that counted? It did. What's that on the wheel spin there, guys? Release the track. Huh. Interesting. Since we've got 5 of them to release, I thought maybe it would be fun to just chuck on a release the track. Chuck on a little release the track. What do you say? Right, we've got to do some upkeep, so I think I'm just going to get on with D&D today, because I could throw up at any minute. What do you say to it? Some D&D? Should I roll a dice? My magic dice? A 15.
Kind of tricks of shootery. Rice, Larry, Rice. It's time to claim your victory. Fight, fight, fight till the fight is won. Run, run, run if it can't be done. Hide, hide, hide till we're out of the sight. Rice, Larry, Rice. Let's roll the dice. Win, win, win. Larry, save us all. Spin, spin, spin on the magic wall. Roll, roll, roll till you know your call. Rice, Larry, Rice. Let's roll the dice. Go, go, let your legend be born. Fall, fall, fall with magic adorned. Soar, 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 always ready for more. Rice, Larry, Rice, let's roll the dice. Never surrender, never give in. Larry, step ahead and let your arrows sing. Lift your head and brace the dawn, ready to rise. Rice, Larry, Rice, let's roll the dice.
Yes. It is time. But first, it's time for upkeep. But first, it's time for upkeep. Hi, Durky Dirk. Thank you for the 23-month resub. Goes towards the wheel spin. Yeah, every time we land on a release track, I'm going to put one of the 5 tracks from this week in the chat room. And you will be able to, you can have them. You can have them. You're welcome. Just thought it might be fun. Just thought it might be fun and silly. Who cares? Who cares? None of this matters, does it? You know? Yeah, all of you in the chat room, like, we're actually trying to win D&D. Thank you very much. This actually reduces our chances of getting a magic item. I would like to have that returned, please. I would like you to fucking go fuck yourself. It's my game, not yours. I can hear your minds. I can hear your minds. I hear them. I'm Professor X when it comes to the chat room. Nayanar, thank you for the 72-monther. Instarage, thank you for the 66-monther. Feemore, thank you for the 72-monther. Shadow, thank you for the gift. This is proof that you're waiting to fucking use these on Sundays now, isn't it? You wait to use your resubs on Sundays, which is fucking causing me to have clinical anxiety all week. All good. No, it's all good. No, it's fine. Who doesn't like having clinical anxiety all week? Anybody who uses it during the week, I'm giving VIP from now on. I'm going to make a note of people that resub during the week and they just go up in my estimation, in my mind. Be more, Danny, thank you for the resubs. You have done this to yourself. So, I built Lancelot. Lancelot as a character in D&D. I've built him twice now. So this is Lancelot. He is a humanoid. He is lawful good. He has an AC of 18 and a HP of 30. But he only has a strength of 14, dex 10, con 12, int 10, whiz 8, charisma 8. He has a +2 to his perception, but his passive perception is only 8. He has Arondite, which is his sword, which is a... it is a long sword, but it's a special sword. It is a long sword that is heavy with reach and two-handed, so it's a reach long sword. So it's a long sword, is essentially what it is. He can reach targets that are 10 feet away with the sword, 5 to 10 feet away. He has Divine Smite on a recharge of 6, so he has to roll a d6, and if he gets a 6, he can have, you can use a Divine Smite. He also has the Rod of Resurrection, which I need to add. His spell scroll that he comes with is Compelled Duel. So one creature that Lancelot can see within range must make a DC 12 Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is drawn to Lancelot, compelled by Lancelot's divine demand. For the duration, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures other than Lancelot, and must make a Wiz save each time it attempts to move to a space that is more than 30 feet away from Lancelot. If it succeeds on its saving throw, the spell doesn't restrict the target's movement. So it's just an aggro. He can aggro a creature towards himself. That's unlimited, that spell. He can use that as many times as he wants. And of course he comes with the Rod of Resurrection, which was an item that you picked up in this game. So essentially he's a tank. He's essentially a tank, paladin healer with a resurrection ability. So the trade-off is because you can only have one companion. So Snotflap is a damage dealer, but his AC is 16. His hit points are only 22. He has a lot more skills. He has this bullshit, all these things he can do, and he's got a much higher damage output when you combine some of these things together. He also has the Devil Goblin Warcry now, which he got from defeating his brother. Each of these characters can level up in small ways, but for the most part, This is how they work. So he's much more squishy. Snotflap is much more squishy, but his damage output is pretty high. He actually has a higher chance to hit as well with his attacks than Lancelot does. But Lancelot is pretty hard to hit, has a little more HP, and has the potential for Divine Smite. He can aggro one creature away if Lyri's being attacked. And also, you're going to have the Rod of Resurrection. So let's write down what this does. So this has to be kind of it has to be nerfed a little bit because it's just kind of insane. So let's see. Lancelot can use this rod to cast the following spells from it. Heal. Spends 1 charge. Or Resurrection. Expends 2 charges. The rod regains 1 expended charge daily at dawn. If the rod is reduced to 0 charges, roll a d20. On a 1, the rod disappears in a burst of radiance. No, 2 of 2 charges. So I kind of figured out how to do this. Trages. 2 of 2 charges. No, I did work it out, sorry. 3 of 3. You have 3 charges in this thing. So heal is a spell that choose a creature that you can see within range. A surge of positive energy washes through the creature, causing it to regain 70 hit points. The spell also ends blindness, deafness, and any diseases affecting the target. This spell has no effect on constructs or undead. No, that's what I was going to do. I was going to do 2 charges. Yes, I remember. Because it's broken as shit, and it needs to be nerfed down to 1 player mode, story mode. So you can use heal, which expends a charge. You can use heal again, which expends a charge, or you can use resurrection, which will destroy the rod. So that means that you can only be resurrected once, basically. But it is 1 free resurrection from death as long as Lancelot is in your party, which, you know, all counts towards which companion are you going to bring with you. Now, companions need rules. You know what, I'll do it on this other screen because it's too small to do up here. The companions need rules now because you have the option of 2 of them, and they were always going to work the same way. They are Pokemon. They are Pokemon. Just connecting his token up. These are your options. But it's legitimately the artwork I had for Lancelot for non-canon. And so I need to figure out how we do Pokemons. So the way magic works in this world is scrolls, right? There is no... Might destroy, yeah. I mean, just so desperate to win. Actually, it's might. Actually, it's supposed to have 5 charges. It's might. I mean, fucking relax. It's a 1-player game. And it's not D&D. It's just very close to D&D. But it fucking changes when I want it to. Because I've been GMing every fucking day for a decade. Just leave it to me. Breathe. I mean, Jesus Christ. I was watching an episode of Critical Role last night where they were doing it live, right? So they had like an audience, and the guy comes out and is introducing the show, and he's like, hey, yeah, we're here, blah, 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 and he talks about stuff. And then he's like, there's a couple of rules that we have to go through. The first one is, please do not shout out during the show. You know, if someone needs to remember Hunter's Mark, if someone needs to, and I was like, dude, it must be, that has to be insane. People just being like, technically, you get Fury of the Small on that fucking attack. Yeah, fucking Jesus. Could you imagine if you, like, everything you people typed in the chat room was immediately said to me in my ears? I would go crazy. I'd literally kill one of you. So yeah, as I said, it is being nerfed down to because otherwise it's just an insane item. It's an insane item to have in a one-on-one campaign. This is a 1-player campaign. And you just become God, you know. Some of you like playing D&D where there's absolutely no threat, no danger. You just want to be God floating around and you just win every single fight. You just fucking keep your eyes closed, playing with your controller, just pressing A and everything's dying in front of you. But I hate playing that kind of D&D. And guess who's also playing the game? Me. I'm also a player. The DM is also a player. Every player forgets that. The DM is just a fucking guy that is there to facilitate my story, is how you think D&D should be played. But the D&D is also a player. Let your DM have fun. God. And that really is a message more towards everyone on Reddit than anything else. It is crazy watching people run D&D, like just watching DMs. I love watching DMs' faces when they're running D&D and someone says some shit and you're like, I just watch, I sit and look at their face. You see someone backseating or you see someone I'm actuallying or you know, I just watch the DM the whole time because I know exactly how he feels. It's a 1-1 the way I know how he feels, you know. Some of you might look at the DM and be like, oh, I know what he's thinking. I know everything. I know exactly how he's feeling in his soul. In his soul. Crastian, thank you so much for the 35-month. Now, if you don't mind, we were trying to play some D&D, but everyone keeps telling me I'm wrong with my own rules that I'm making up for my own game, which isn't even D&D. It's D&D, 1-player version, Brad version, chat version, 1.2. All right. Shut your mouth and don't cry. By the way, you get so much stuff in this. The way that your character is so incredibly, unfathomably overpowered. And it's never enough. That's the other thing as well. It's like, it's never enough. You can give your players as much fucking dick and just keep roping in more dick and they always want another inch. So just stop doing it. Hey DMs, that's my advice. As a DM who loves giving stuff to characters and players, just here's a thing, here's a thing, here's a thing. It will never ever be enough. And actually you sort of start to train them that they like get a little treat like a dog. And then they get so much stuff that they get pissed off when you don't give them something they actually want. Have you ever noticed that? Give your players loads of stuff all the time. And then like you're like, oh, you find a potion of healing. And they're like, oh, is that it? Oh, you'll never get anything else again. you know? That's you lot. You're the most petulant players I have ever run in a D&D game, and you're easily and by far the player that has received the most gifts ever. It's pay to win, but you're still, most of you, not paying to win, you know? You're just sitting there like, more, more please, and someone's feeding you grapes while you lounge in a Greek vista. Players, dude. Players. Never again. Never again. Guild Jester, yeah, that's you guys. Okay. I don't understand how having less people means game gets harder. Like, not only are we down at least 2 people, but magic items also perform less than half as well. No, you just don't have a healer. You don't have a team composition. You don't have the ability. If your character hits 0, you're probably dead. You'll have a couple of death saves and then you're done. Whereas in any other D&D game, someone just goes healing word and you're back up. Healing word. Stabilized. So the chance for death is much higher. Really. Obviously what you're fighting is still going to be leveled out to you and stuff, but kind of isn't either, because you end up always fighting against, like last week you had 2 boss battles in one. So that's what I'm trying to think of here. But the D&D is based around damage output. That's it. It's the only thing they level it to. The AC and HP and stuff doesn't mean shit. Your skills doesn't mean shit. It's purely damage output. That's how they level everything. And what is your damage output? It should be exceptional if you could roll a dice above 2, which none of you can. Chode, thank you for the 53 months. That's a wheel spin, but we'll get into that in a minute. There needs to be more narrative flair around explaining that healing potion to help the player understand that this is rare and glorious fine gift they have received. No, that's not how that works. Completely over his head, everything I just said. You know, just might as well be speaking Simlish. So we need to figure out a way for characters to be Pokemon. Which I have an idea in my head. Okay. I have an idea in my head. Which is something along the lines of, you have a book. The companion book. And it's basically a Pokeball. But like a big Pokeball. And you can summon them. Companions are in fact summons. It needs to be like a ritual casting time, which is 10 minutes to switch a companion. And here's the thing with the companions, right? They're all non-canon. Snopflap isn't from this world. Lancelot isn't from this world, you know. Snopflap and his family probably came here some other way. But they are Pokemon. Because it's a video game. So you have basically a companion spell book. Snopflap is an alien, yeah. And then you can switch them out on the go. And in that way, it requires you to, you know, you pull them, they don't go in the book exactly, but you can summon them from the book, from wherever they are and whatever they're doing. Right? It's the only way I could think to do it. One companion summoned at any time. So that's what non-canon means as a title, like Candle and Navarre, non-canon to the stories they visit and cause non-canon events. Maybe. I don't know. You guys keep asking me stuff like that. You think I fucking wrote anything down for non-canon? Non-canon doesn't have lore. It's just a silly jumping around show where none of it matters. I guess this is it, right? You have a companion book, which is essentially a summoning book. Is becoming a companion compulsory to getting their visa? Yes. And then when they go into the summoning, into the book, they go to the Poke Center. You know? Alright. Well, that was easy. Done. Do they get pulled from their real lives in a different plane, or are they just familiars? I have no idea. What do you think? I don't know which one makes more sense. Can we de-summon them to save them? Well, it takes 10 minutes, so... If saving them is a 10-minute thing. Yeah. Can we leave two companions together and they will have an egg? That's exactly what's going to happen. If you continue... If there are two companions in the book, they will definitely have an egg. So, Chode, you can work on the lore for how that works as well, while you're working on the other lore. Because we have no idea. The lore is confusing and doesn't make sense. So the companion book, I'm just going to put this a bit further up here. Because I have companion rules. But they essentially work like everything else in this does, where you have things equipped, you know. You can equip one companion. It's Fallout. What happens to all of your other companions when you're playing Fallout? Or Skyrim? Can we find a shiny companion? You can find one right now. Because we're beginning the game. Bursting forth from the water after exiting the dungeon, we see Lyri. Armed with the Heart of the Abyss pearl. I guess the question is, does Lyri return with the pearl to the witch? The choice is yours. And we need it to be one option. And while you decide whether you want to return with the pearl to the witch or leave with the pearl in your pocket, collect Snotflap and head back onto the world map. The choice is yours. We're going to spin the wheel and see what you get. Next roll will be a natural one, so bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. So now, remember as well, you leveled up. So Lyri is currently level 3. Unrested, 14 HP, no action surge. 2 uses left of the spell scroll of Wind Wall. 1 curse in that being alone they have derealization. Yes, okay. We're going to return. Are you going to actually return the actual pearl to the witch, or just go back into the place and see what she says? Are you handing the pearl over when you get in there? And lastly, what did the witch sound like? Who's old, right? Ah, yes. Jildan. She's Jildan now. Not that I can do a good Jildan impression, but I will try. I will try. You will try. Yes. Okay. So I think we see Lyri step into the witch's home, Arindra's home again. You know, water running off of Lyri's clothing, blue hair sort of soaked and pulled into a sort of messy ponytail while it dries. A little injured, a little battered and beaten, leaning down underneath the doorway. This kind of very natural looking rocky outcropping that reveals, the closer you get to it, that there is in fact a witch's hut hidden within. Stepping underneath the doorway and past a couple of pieces of hanging netting and seaweed, and into this strange, naturally sort of formed alcove where there are these the floor is covered in you know, an inch or so of water, of seawater, and the walls are covered in lots of trinkets and sea based artifacts and shells, netting running across everything, many tables and shelves that have got strange artifacts and weird stones and amulets and things on them. The interior has changed a little bit. There seems to be, where there was a large pot that Arindra was cooking in previously, there is now a sort of naturally occurring coral plinth that curls upwards into almost a shape of a hand that could sit with a pearl on the top of it. As you step in, Arindra says, "Ah, you got it then." Lyri produces the Heart of the Abyss and hands it forward. deal is a deal. Arindra takes the pearl carefully and looks it over. This strange pearl with its kind of blue light to it. She glances at it, sort of almost checking that it is the correct thing. She's not being swindled by you. And she turns and says, best hold on to something, dearie. As she places it on the coral. Suddenly the coral shifts and grows, curling over the top of the pearl. The pearl kind of glows its own light, activating this altar. The light runs down the coral into the ground, and the entire island begins to shake. The plinth and altar, while still growing and curling coral over the pearl, begins to descend, growing at the same time as shrinking and descending further and further, until eventually the pearl is lost and hidden and taken down underneath the island. The island's vibrations causing some of the amulets and things to shake as the pearl and the coral altar return to the deep. Arindra says, the heart of the abyss is not just a cursed pearl. It is part of Kathlara's soul. Without it, the creature would die, but not before taking down the entire island and a good portion of the eastern seaboard. You've done a great thing here. I can offer you one more item before you leave. You may keep your shell, or you can take something else off of one of these shells. The entire room opens up, filled with hundreds and hundreds of trinkets, varying things. There are cloaks on the walls, there are weapons that are leaning up against parts of the interior that you didn't notice before. There's a bar of soap. Yes. Lancelot was swimming towards the witch. He is not in here. There are rings. There are boots. There are strange alien-looking artifacts. And she looks around the room and says, what kind of item would you like? Everything in here that is enchanted, I'm sure would help you in some way or another. Of course, you're free to keep the seashell. And she points to the seashell, which allows you to breathe underwater indefinitely. So, what kind of item would you like? Well, I guess what kind of magical item would you like? We have, you have the option, of course, to keep the, what is it called? It is called the Amulet of the something. The Seashell Amulet. So you can keep this, or suggestions from the chat room. A soap of remove curse. +1 ammunition. It doesn't have to be an item from D&D. You can just throw something out and we'll make it up. If it ends up being the one that people vote for and collect. It could be anything, you know. Our imagination is the limit. Just let your imagination loose. Welcome to D&D. And we'll figure it out and then I'll balance it. A cloak of swiftness. I don't know what that is. A great sword. A propeller hat. I can spell. That fits every head. bead of summon blackbirds. That's a dangerous. After Kingmakers, that could mean anything. Goblin chill the fuck out time powder. An enchanted bow. A buffing item, 1 charge per long rest. I don't know what that means, but... okay, I think I can only take 10, right? Is it 10 that fits on this? Maybe we could do a couple more, actually. But here we are. These are your options. As you look around the room, Lyri may be kind of taking a few steps away, wringing a little more water out of their hair, running a finger over a couple of the rings that are on the sides, picking up an arrow that has a piece of blue enchanted coral on the end of it and replacing it into a quiver, glancing over at a bar of soap, running hands down an interesting looking cloak that seems to end in some more of that netting looking material. There's an enormous greatsword that is just absolutely huge on one side of the room. Just looks like a slab of metal. There's a very strange looking, cartoonish looking hat that has a propeller on it. There's a box filled with all of these orbs, very small little beads and things. One of them, as Lyri glances at it, the eye of a blackbird is reflected across its surface for a moment. There's a table filled with all sorts of... at first it looks like food seasonings, but then you recognize these are probably powders and dusts that can be used in some enchanted way. Hanging off of one of the hooks from the walls, those kind of fish hooks, is a sort of water-based looking bow with all of this sort of strange water-looking blue and green filigree. Almost looks like it's made from seaweed. The bow itself kind of glowing a little with a light enchantment. Lyri wandering around the room, deciding what to do. Caught between the idea of keeping the seashell amulet or a bar of soap that will remove curses. Beth, thank you for the 8 months, my friend. Every 10 subs, we roll the wheel here. Keeping the amulet. Someone broke it. Lux. Deciding to keep the amulet. I'll be honest with you, it's a good choice. As fun as some of the options are, an amulet that just allows you to breathe underwater indefinitely is pretty fucking strong. It's obviously situational, but that's the fun thing about probably getting a lot of items. Instead of having other party members, you guys are going to get a lot of items, right? Because it's just the wheel itself. So I think it's not a bad shout. Okay. Lyri says, I think I'll keep the seashell. Seashell amulet. Water breathing. Acquired. Narendra says, a good choice. And one more thing. Here. She reaches down and pulls out a red and white book. The top half red. The bottom half white. In the center is a black band that wraps around the thing and a clasp. Just a circular white clasp that clasps the book together. And she says, over there, waiting for you with your friend is a knight who's traveled very far to find you. You'll need this. And she hands Lyri the, what do we call it? The companion compendium? That's pretty good. I'll the top of my head. The Companion Compendium. So you have the seashell amulet and the Companion Compendium. What does the book do? That's why you should arrive at the beginning of the stream, isn't it, Leprechaun? Isn't it?
What have I told you before? You show up on time.
Dabiri, thank you for the 5 gift subs. So the Companion Compendium is how you are able to control your companions. It is, I guess I can make a quick, maybe we make a quick handout, just because I imagine people will ask this quite a lot. So your companions are basically summons, like a Pokemon, which because you can only have one companion equipped at a time, and you can summon them in a ritual casting way. I haven't fully worded it, but I know what it means in my head. Right. So the Companion Compendium. That's got to be worth a sub. So I'll add ritual casting time, 10 minutes. The de-summon. The Companion Compendium. And then the Pokedex is Snotflap, who is a rogue. What would you call that? DPS? And Lancelot, who is a paladin. And he's a tank. Right. How do I fucking format this? Can't. Will this work? No. Fuck it. Don't care. Tank healer. Alright. You people know how games work better than me. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is the Companion Compendiums. This is how we're going to manage the companions. I mean, obviously you have to sort of take it with a grain of salt in terms of the lore and how this game is, you know, how this works in game, because it's a mechanic thing that we can only. I mean, we know that to a degree. If anyone's watched non-canon, this is Lancelot from that, and Lancelot appeared with a rod of resurrection. Because of wheel spins. I had no intention of putting Lancelot in this, but I do think it is the best way to do this, is that you have a book which is literally just a Pokedex of your companions, and you can equip one at a time. Lyri takes the compendium. It all makes complete sense for no reason whatsoever to Lyri, how this works. And I think with that, I think to be honest with you, with that, the quest is complete. The quest is complete. Congratulations. I think we see a little short moment here where Lyri waves to Irindra. Irindra sort of said, "Come back anytime, dear." And packing up their stuff and heading out of the door. Maybe wrapping the stuff up again and diving back in the water and swimming over to the other side. Every now and then glancing up, you see, or Lyri sees, Snotflap, this kind of ball of fur, blue-skinned goblin, just sort of warping around, and you see another gentleman stood. Well, maybe he's sat actually, because it's probably been some time. There is an armored individual, shining armor, and a single very large, sort of long sword. Not quite a great sword, not a little longer and a little larger than your average longsword might be, waiting on the other side. You've completed this quest, so your current quest is explore. You've completed the Restless Tides DLC. So you're back in the open world exploration piece of the game here. We have a world map. Well, we have a Badgerbrook West. The world, based exclusively on this map alone, is enormous. These are your main. You've never got to the main quest. In searching for the main quest, you ended up kind of wandering around on the world map, or on this part of the world map at least. Starting at the tower, teleporting up to the monument, not really completing anything at the monument, heading over to the stone circle, completing the area that's known as Stone Circle, and then heading over to the area known as Wildflowers, which took you just out to the Tidefall Isle over here as well, where you did 2 quests here, with this quest for Irindra being a pretty big one, but provided a lot of good stuff. You cleared a bunch of curses and got a bunch of items and XP. So you have a couple of choices to make on where you want to go next, but first you return to the area with the wild flowers, on the sort of swimming over from Tidefall Island and coming to this this field again. Snotflap running over to you on the beach, I think, as Lyri steps up and out of the water. Again, water running off of their clothing, undoing the bag and sort of hefting it down to the ground, shaking off some of the water running. Long blue hair on Lyri. Newcomers, you guys are playing a character known as Lyri, who is essentially a fighter archer. ex-soldier turned mercenary that's come to a new continent in search of work and adventure. And we've been just sort of exploring for now with this character. However, for the first time, you have two companions. Your companion that you currently have technically equipped, you took a quest that was a non-companion quest. You have you end up with two companions due to just sort of the spell wind here, just a sort of random element. An individual known as Lancelot stands up 20 or 30 feet away. Snotflap runs over, probably doesn't even run actually because he can teleport. He just ports all the way over to Lyri immediately.
Larry, there's someone here. He says he's from really far away and he's gonna help. What do we do? We're gonna kill him and eat him or what?
Lyri immediately overwhelmed by the Snotflap being sort of ADHD and just teleporting around with all this information. I don't understand. Who are they?
He's named Lancelot. He come from really far away. He said he wants to help. He doesn't even know why he wants to help. He just does. I don't even trust him. We should kill and eat him, I reckon.
I'll deal with it. I'll go and have a word. Snotflap kind of...
You smell strange. You smell like fish.
I did have to fight some fish. Fish people.
Fish people? Oh, shit. Maybe I do want to go in the water. Did you eat one of them?
Nope, they tried to eat me.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Or maybe I'll go in the water then. Actually, no, I don't want to go in the water.
He starts growling as Lyri steps away and walks up towards Lancelot. Lancelot stands up. Lyri is pretty tall, right? So Lancelot would actually be shorter than Lyri because Lyri is like Aasimar blood tall. I think Lancelot is 6 feet tall. Lyri is 6'5". Let's see what I wrote for Lancelot in the thing here. Do I even have access to it right now? Probably not. Because Lancelot has been ported in by an overzealous fan of non-canon, a table story show that I run on Fridays. As Lyri walks up the beach, they see a knight of striking presence standing tall and regal in gleaming silver armor. He no longer has his helm, but he has a very handsome, traditionally handsome, slightly weathered face framed by locks of raven black hair. He has piercing blue eyes that have a tinge of red to the very edges of them at the moment because he's canonically non-canon adjacent. He has a sort of red and white tabard with a golden lion sigil on his chest. And he has this very beautifully crafted longsword. Its pommel kind of a perfect sphere of silver, but it wraps down and the crossguard almost looks a bit like maybe a flame, a golden color to it, and then it hooks around a little bit, kind of ending up pushing out from the crossguard upwards, like you might find on the Witcher's silver swords. This is Arondite, yes. His potentially, and I think it would be cool if his sword upgraded. But it is very long. While Lyri stands a little taller than Lancelot and approaching Lancelot, this sword is extremely long for a long sword, and is clearly the type of thing that while Lancelot is a sort of a tank and a paladin, he uses this two-handed, heavy reach longsword to fight with, relying on his plate mail rather than a sword and shield. And typically, Lancelot relies on parrying, but doesn't currently have the ability to parry. Maybe he'll upgrade to parry You know, these guys can level up a little bit as you do. At the moment, they don't need to, but they can. So when Lyri, I need to figure it out exactly, but I think it's when Lyri hits 4, 8, and 12, and 16. So the ability score upgrades. That is when they will get upgrades too. And I think, obviously they can get some from just completing random things, like Snotflap, for example, unlocked an ability by defeating his brother in single combat. So maybe Lancelot will unlock that kind of thing naturally. I'll always give them the option to do that. But generally speaking, I was going to give them buffs on Lyri's level ups, just to make it feel comfortable. That's how I'm going to do companions. We'll play, we'll do it as we go. Lancelot stands sort of up and almost like stands to attention as Lyri approaches, and Lyri says, "I hear you've been looking for me." He gives Lyri a kind of a little glance here. Again, this is the artwork I set for Lancelot. He was very anime inspired in this thing. He says, I'm strangely duty bound. I don't know where I am precisely, but before arriving here, I found a book. It detailed of a tale of a person with blue hair, traveling with a blue companion, and simply questing for goods. I believe I'm here to assist you on your quests in any manner I can. Well, there was a mage, a woman in red, and a cat. They helped me to get here. They told me to simply do whatever each world requires of me, and while I understand that this is confusing, and perhaps you won't trust me, I assure you my intentions are graceful, at least. I once served a king, and for now, if you'll have me, I shall serve you. My name is Lancelot. This is Arundite. My blade and my skills are yours. Lyri kind of looks him up and down, glances over at Snotflap, who is chewing on a dandelion. Looks back to this knight in like regal shining armor, perfect hair, a confusing backstory. Seems like he's sort of telling the truth. Recognizes the companion compendium, and glances back to this knight. And I guess for the first time today, we ask you guys, what does Lyri do? So at this part of the campaign, if you're a new viewer, you can just suggest. This is the D&D equivalent of what do you do now, or really it's just a character speaks to you. What does your character say or do in the reaction and the moment here? If he likes books, show him the non-canon book we got. Okay. Wait, you have a non-canon book? That's right, you do. I forgot. Calmly introduce ourselves, clearly not impressed. Turn on the old Lyri charm. Don't know what that means. Piss self. Oh, Omega really wants to do piss self. Okay, Omega, thank you for the suggestion. Really wants to do that one, Omega does, for some reason. Ask Lancelot to prove his strength. I will never change how it's... If you write it in the chat room, that's how it goes in here. Ask if he has food for Snotflap, so Snotflap might like him. Make flower crowns for Lancelot and Snotflap. No, I was explaining for... anything that is a check will be a natural one. Remember, your first roll today will be a natural one based on wheel spins. I know we've got a couple more, or one more. Almost two more. One more to do. I just wanted to clear this part first. All right, well, this looks like... Oh, click the wrong one. This one. This looks like the options. Choice is yours to vote for. I also have this new theme. I got some new music. Technically, this is Lancelot's theme. From non-canon. Well, it's just sort of the Camelot theme from non-canon. And, alright, you vote on that. I will be AFK 1 second. The irony of how badly I needed to piss. Piss self. Can anyone break this tie? Between if he likes books, show him the non-canon book we got. And turn on the old Lyric Charm. Show him the non-canon book. Okay. Let's see. So, what is that? I forget what you got. Did we figure out what it was? The novel of non-canon. Ooh. Are you sure you want to show him this? This could freak him out. Give me an Arcana or an Investigation check. Let's see which one's better for Lyri. As you pull this book out. Arcana -1, Investigation -1. So we're going to say that this is either or. Oh, and it's going to be a natural 1. Let's roll to see what you would have got just for the sake of it. So you can start rolling. Exclamation point, roll D20 in the chat room. And we'll take the first winning roll. To vote, when the vote comes up, you just type the number next to the thing that you want to vote for in the chat room. We'll do another one soon and you'll see. I'm also very sorry, I'm a little bit tired today. I don't feel too well this week. Oh, I thought it was over, you know. I thought it was all over. I was so happy. And then he has fallen sick again. But I appreciate you all coming out and watching the stream. I hope you're having fun. You would have got a 5. So this is a 1. Okay. Pulling out the novel of non-canon. I think it's probably a black and white looking novel. You know, the thumbnails and the tone of the show non-canon that I run on Table Story on a Friday night is the story of 2 characters from other D&D campaigns that original characters, but they basically are both from their own D&D worlds. You know, they die, they end up in this place called the library. There is a dark library and a light library, and they get sent on multiple different adventures through like a multiverse, and in episode 1 of Non-Canon they go to Camelot, and they encounter this Lancelot, who, spoilers, by the end of the episode ends up traveling after them, sort of being sent in search of them on this multiversal adventure. During Lancelot's adventures, I guess at some point he ends up here doing this. So to show Lancelot the book, the cover shows a cat and a kid. Yeah, I think it's just because it would be a typical sort of medieval-looking book. You know, it would be an old-looking leather-bound tome thing. Maybe not medieval. Maybe a little later on than that, but still a relatively plain-looking cover. This black and white leather cover split. That is a thick book with just all of this writing in that begins to detail stuff. Lyri says, "A book, you say? You know, I came into an interesting book." Sort of pushing the compendium to one side and reaching in for the novel of Non-Canon. Lyri says, "Does this mean anything to you?" Lancelot takes the book and glances over it, reading through the page, the first page, the second page. His eyes then open wide as he gets to a page, his finger running under the word Camelot, and reading over parts of the story. He reads through it for a moment and then closes the book and says, "Means nothing to me," and hands it back. You can give me another Arcana check if you would like, chat. This is a -1 to your roll, but you do not have, it will not be a natural one. So exclamation point, roll d20. Having access to Epidemic Sound, I know like the meme at the beginning of the show is that like all of the music is from Suno, but actually most of it's from Epidemic Sound, is really cool. Because some of these songs are really nice. I actually really badly want to get an Epidemic Sound license for Table Story, but Whack keeps slapping my hand as I reach for it. Keep rolling. We take the second roll this time because we need to flush out the previous rolls. The bot isn't complex enough to be able to know when we're doing and calling for a new roll. So that one, the 4 from Shadow. You can all blame Shadow for this fail. Doesn't seem to mean anything to Lancelot, even though, you know, he reads his own name in there. Just nothing. Gets no real reaction. An immediate reaction and then no reaction. Just seems sort of slightly confused that you would offer him a book immediately. Now, before you pick a companion and continue on your quest, let's spin the wheel. Twice or once? Twice. Oh, Shadow. Oh, Shadow and Lux gave me gifted subs. Thank you very much. Boys, I was peeing. Let's see what you get for this wheel spin. Second spin of the day. An item. Roll me a d20, chat. Let's see what you get. Actually, I might be able to use this other table today. Let's see. A 16. We roll well for the item, which is just a random table, yeah. A 16 on this table is a small bag of dirt. Yes. You now have an item which is a small bag of dirt. Just dirt. It's not magical. This is a plain item roll, not a magic item roll. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Amazing. All right. Edible dirt? Everything's edible. Safely edible dirt? I don't know. When I was very, very young, like really young, I would go outside and dip Wotsits, which are chips, for Americans, in sand and dirt and eat it. Why? Why did kids do that? Think about now, I'm basically offered. The item equivalent of teleport 2 feet. Yeah, someone's pissed off. Who was it earlier on? Kyrie giving me shit for not being able to win D&D. Kyrie's like, well, that's not even worth the money that I didn't even spend. Kyrie furious right now. Kyrie just fucking threw a fucking dish. Was just sat down with dinner, sat down with some nice lunch, made a nice little lunch, sat down, put the soup down, some bread, a nice cup of tea, and then rolled some magic dirt and went like this across the room. Kyrie's husband comes running in. Dear, what happened? Fury, flip the table. Drop kick the fucking computer. The second roll, here we go. Spinning the wheel again. You get 2 wheel spins, courtesy of Lux, Shadow, and Durkee. Thank you, Durkee. Hey, it's time to release the first track. Now, all week we've had different games to play. Minecraft on Monday, Stardew on Tuesday, Witcher on Wednesday, and we played Infinity Nikki on Thursday. And then we played RimWorld on Friday. And obviously the meme is that it's $500 to release each of those tracks. But I thought it would be, because there's 5 of them, which is an absurd amount. Normally it would cost you $500, but it's a special Black Friday offer in time for Christmas. For only $229.43, we're going to release the Turtle Sanctuary song. Let me do that right now for you. So in our Discord channel, any original songs I make, I'm gonna release the Turtle Sanctuary song. You're welcome, everyone. There you go. You win a released track. If you want to listen to that song, you own it now. Well done. It's yours. You own it now. It's your song. Do with it what you want. You can use it on your own stream. All yours. All right. So I've got release tracks on there. I thought every time we do it, I will lower the chance of getting release track. What do you think? We make the segment smaller each time. There we go. Because there's one less track. There are 5 tracks to collect. If you collect all of them, Lyri gets 100 XP. How much XP do you need? A lot more. You get bingo, yeah. You get to shout the word bingo. A bingo. Oh, Jesus. How did this come up? I click this instead of this. Okay. Alright, that's all the wheel spins, right? Yes. Okay, now comes the time to equip a companion. Oh, actually, I guess, do you want to do a short rest? Yeah. Equip a companion, do a short rest. Do a long rest? Yeah, fuck it, I'll let you pick. Short rest, long rest. Short rest equals no encounter. Long rest equals maybe encounter. Just to give you an idea of where your stats are at, here I'll verbalize it for you. You have 14 HP out of a possible 23. You do not have your action surge, and that's it. Those are the only things that need recharging. Action surge recharges on a short rest, if my memory is correct. And you'll be able to use hit dice. You've got 3 hit dice that you can use to expend to re-heal if you'd like. You have a new ability called Healing Hands that will restore 3 HP to something, and that's a long rest. And I think everything else is short rest for you. Action surge is short rest, right? I'm gonna make a note for myself. Long rest. Okay, you want to do a long rest. This means you don't use any of your hit dice. But let's see. I guess roll me a d20. I'll adjust the long resting, the encounter table for a d20, and we'll see if you get into trouble here. Where did I write down? Oh, D20 version. God, I'm good, man. Past me is so good. I made a little note for a D20 version of my encounter roll method. And then let me know what you get. The second roll is the one that we're going to take. Yeah. Then we're going to head out. I need to find my other table that was... a 7? I think you're good. I think you're good. Yeah, you're fine. Okay, so no encounter. That means you heal up to 23. You recharge your action surge. Obviously the other two are at full health as well, and I think that's it for now. So now you have to pick which companion you want to take with you. Which companion, or equip which companion? Snotflap. I guess I'll put the stuff in here as well, just for anyone who's like, I don't know the difference between these two characters. Snotflap, rogue DPS. Lancelot, paladin tank. Yeah, that's it. What are you? Which one? Who are we going with? Who are we taking with us for this next part of the exploration? Now, again, it costs 10 minutes of ritual casting time to switch companions. It's a simple switch. But obviously you wouldn't be able to do that in combat. So you have to do it like, you know, in between stuff. I mean, you could come to an area that had an encounter that was like a puzzle or something like that, and you could switch pretty quickly within 10 minutes if it made sense. Or you're like at the beginning of a dungeon and it looks like the type of dungeon that maybe Snotflap would do better in or Lancelot would do better in, you could switch out then. So you'll just have to... You might need to shout at me every now and then because I will forget these things. Trying out the new above, you know, when you're like on a screen in a game and it comes up like equip which companion, and it just says Snotflap, and underneath it says Lancelot with a little symbol above his head that says new, you know, bling 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 over his portrait. Okay. So Lancelot is technically equipped. Do we want? How do we do this? Do we do this like Final Fantasy, where Snotflap is still around, but in terms of fighting, it's Lancelot? Should we just do it that way? That's how it works, isn't it? That's how we do it. Because then that way you kind of don't need to actually fully summon them. Like Sea of Stars, which is a Final Fantasy game, and a Chrono Trigger game, and a thingy of mana game, and so yeah, I think that's how this works. I think that's probably more appropriate. So actually we won't worry about them being like zipped off away from somewhere. It's just that in terms of mechanically, you have Lancelot equipped for combat, and Snotflap is just doing that thing in the background of every fight. A 2D SNES Street Fighter 2 Turbo background NPC cheering person. Okay, here we go. We are heading back out onto the world map, having completed the wildflowers. I mean, the next closest area is the natural spring. That's the that is the God, this is, I wish this didn't do this now. Roll20. Just give me... Wildflowers to natural spring. Is that where you want to travel to? Or you can go to the monument by going over the... So you can basically travel down the road to the natural spring, or you can head out into the wilderness and go to the monument. Those are really the two options here for how we're doing travel on the world map. Obviously, you've done most of your travel by teleporting. So travel to the natural spring by road, or to the monument, which is where you previously went and there was an amulet hanging. Wilderness. The choice is yours. We've got a world map theme. Unanimous. Never before have the chat been so united, even on unbans and shit. Alright. So traveling along the road to the natural spring, I need a D20 again. From you in the chat room to see if you encounter anything. And we take the second roll. We take the second roll. Been a while since I needed to pull up all this information for the travel stuff. A 5. I think you're good. Yeah. You are fine. So, after maybe a half a day's travel, I can't remember how far we said this was, but it isn't an extortionately large amount of space. Probably about half a day between each of these areas. And sort of moving away from the wildflowers area and quickly coming across an area that looks like a road. Lyri and Lancelot and Snotflap start traveling down the road, sort of just exchanging pleasantries, vague, ideas of like who they are and where they're from, what they're capable of. Lyri taking a look at some of the armor and the swordsmithing work to Lancelot's blade, because it is very different, I think, from the styles that Lyri might have encountered on either of the continents in this place. And Snotflap just being incredibly annoying, following them along. It's a relatively pleasant walk, I think, for the most part, as you end up making your way to an area. After a little while, there is a time where the characters decide to rest, and they come to this natural spring, which is literally straight out of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. What is? I need that fucking. You know when you get to those, what are they called? The life springs? I think. Dude, you come to let's see here. I think I have what I need for this. By the way, anybody that's never seen this before, it is entirely procedurally generated. I go into this with almost nothing prepared every week and try and GM absolutely everything on the fly. I think Lyri, Lancelot, and Snotflap come to this natural spring. A wonderful looking hot spring, set apart and a little away from the road. I think maybe Snotflap finds it, sort of porting suddenly over.
Look what I found!
Lyri kind of wanders over to it. Lancelot says, "A hot spring? Well, perhaps we should rest here for a time." Lyri immediately nods. And you find yourselves at this quiet off-road alcove. and this comfortable looking natural spring. And I ask you, chat, what does Lyri do? Let's see. What do you got? Throw a rock into it. Check the surroundings. Take a nice long bath in the spring. Cannonball. Ignore all prior knowledge. Drink the water. Check for hostiles other than Snotflap. We kind of got that on there. Try to sense for magic. Throw Snotflap in. Jumps in forgetting they can't swim. Lyri can swim. Throw bag of dirt in the water and to see whether there are spells or whatever. Fill the water skin and move on. Alright, I think those are good options. Good options. A lovely, secluded, natural spring nestled between some rocky outcroppings. Crystal clear water. A little steam naturally pouring off of it. Lined with these smooth stones, a little moss. It's not a natural spring if it's lined with masonry. Well, it's lined with smooth stones, like someone put them there. But it isn't masoned like a bath. You know? Traveler's Spring. Also, relax. Relax. Breathe. Everything is scary in D&D, I know. I know. The DM's holding all the cards. Every turn is fear. Everything in the world is a Tarrasque until proven otherwise. I know. But just take a deep breath. It's not real.
It's real to me, god damn it.
It's real to me. Throw Snotflap in or check the surroundings. Fuck. We'll do both. I'll let you check the surroundings first. I think I need to start making my my things square, don't I? 4-3. Did you get a 2 on your perception check? Let's see what you have to perception. A 4. Oh, I probably should have asked if you wanted to equip different stuff. We'll do it here in a second. Doesn't appear to be any hostiles around. Doesn't appear to be anything particularly dangerous here. There's a... Wait, what? You didn't get a 2. Oh, you were still voting. Okay. Just taking forever. A 17. You didn't ask us to roll. Oh, did I not? Okay. I haven't had any sleep. A 17. The same answer. There doesn't appear to be any hostiles around. It seems to be sort of just a peaceful area. In fact, there's a relatively undeniable feeling of peace and purity here, as if this place itself is blessed, maybe. Then you pick up Snotflap,
Hey!
and throw him in. Ah! He pretends to melt. And then he says,
Oh, it's in my mouth. It's in my... Oh, it tastes quite nice.
Snotflap gains 1d4 temporary hit points. 4. Now, how do I make it so that Snotflap has this? I guess I'll just put it on his sheet for the next time you equip him. He has 4 temporary HP as well. I'll put spring. Let's spin the wheel. Thank you so much, Gabe. Let's see what you get on the wheel spin. An encounter, probably, after I said all that stuff. More gold! Man, I can't wait for you to spin that merchant again. Roll me a d20, chat. Let's see how much gold you find scattered around the spring. Take the second roll. A 1? Alright, if it's only 1 gold piece that's sitting here, I ask you the question, take the gold. Yes? No? You may vote. Would you like to take this gold? A single gold piece. No. As you look at the gold piece and decide against taking it, finding a little leaf and just pushing it over the gold piece so that Snotflap doesn't catch it, there is a familiar sound. You gain 10 XP. Congratulations. You passed the test of the spring. Now you take the gold. What does Lyri do next? Also, I could be being really obtuse here, but are we trying to flirt with Lancelot? Jump in. I'm going to put the option for like classic anime hot spring afternoon scene. And then jump in. Throw Lance in. Awkwardly ask Lancelot if we're doing full nude in the springs or nah. They're both soldiers, of course they are. Put another gold piece down on the ground. Fill flasks. Okay, there you go. What does Louis do next? Classic anime hot spring afternoon scene. Jump in, throw Lance in, awkwardly ask Lancelot if we're doing full nude in the springs or nah. Put another gold piece down on the ground. Fill flasks. Snotflap is still alive. Snotflap is swimming around in the water. Backstroke.
La 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 la.
Just having a great time. This is healing water. Cannot kill. Classic anime hot spring. And then fill flasks. You want to take a flask of it as well? You can just type yes or no in the chat room. Yeah, I think that's what happens. The classic... the classic anime hot spring scene from Everything Ever. This is what they look like, the three of them. You know, except one of them's blue. One of them's got blue skin, one of them's got blue hair. But this is exactly what they look like for the afternoon. Casually resting and sitting in the waters. Each character gets 1d4 temporary hit points. Thank you, Shadow, for the 5 gift subs. Let's roll for Lancelot, 3, and for Lyri, 1, of course. Our rolls are not good for you this week. You get 1 temporary hit point. Lancelot, that's not his character sheet, that's his portrait. Lancelot. I guess the way I'll do this is put it here. 3 temp HP spring. While you relax. Are you spinning the wheel while we're in there? I googled it and it says that scenes usually involve peeping, like Samson and Delilah style. Yeah, no, they normally do in anime, but I just mean, you know, all 3 of them just get fully naked, for sure. 2 of them are soldiers. They don't give a fuck. Have you ever met a soldier? They just get naked in front of each other. They got better things to do. And the other one's a goblin. They're all naked in the hot spring, for sure. Damn, all these subs coming in. Bew, thank you for the gift sub. Durkee, thank you for the gift sub. Nayana, thank you for the gift sub. Debiru, thank you for the gift sub. Anonymous, thank you for the gift subs. Joint gifts. Indeed. Joint gifts indeed. How many wheel spins is this? Here's the first one. 2 spins. We're going to release another track. Relaxed. Sitting. Chilling. Having a great time. They pull out, Snotflap pulls out a boombox.
Hey, check out this.
Lyri, Lancelot, perplexed, looking at this, boombox. He says,
Check out this song I made.
time to release another song. You're welcome, everyone. You get the White Gold Crack Cocaine track.
it's aim or steroids. White girl crack cocaine, it's white girl crack cocaine. Who will you romance? What will you grow? There's a time limit, bitch. I fucking gotta go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, yes, it is time.
And that is now officially released.
Themselves. They have to click. White girl crack cocaine, it's white girl crack cocaine. Who will you
Officially
romance?
released
What will you grow?
in the Discord under release tracks.
Bitch, I fucking gotta go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Congratulations. The second track released, which means I have to do make the thing less likely to hit. And then we spin again for another wheel spin. Thank you so much for the gift subs.
White girl crack cocaine.
And you get an item potion. Okay. Random potion generator. Website, where are you? Where's the good one? I mean, so incredibly appropriate. A bubbling liquid, crimson in color, suddenly, with the effects of the spell wind, appears in front of you, and it is a potion of temporary hit points again. So you have 2 of these. I write it in here? Guess not. It's really hard to keep up with everything that you've got. Potion of temporary hit point. And this is probably a good time to say what stuff do you want to equip. You have 2 potions of temporary hit points. Let's do the equip thing. So currently you have the seashell amulet and the cloak of the hunter equipped, and the potion of stone giant strength equipped. So let's quickly do that as well, because you're away from that water temple now, so I'm guessing you. Potion equip. Let me do it this way, it's quicker. While you rest, it's a good time to decide which potion you want to have equipped. So the potion options are neutralize poison. Potion of giant strength gives you a strength score of 23, I think. Potion of temporary hit points gives you 1d10 temporary hit points. Potion of water breathing, which you kind of don't need if you have the shell equipped, but you know you could mix and match those. Tonic of Kingdom Hearts Mermaid's Tail, swim speed of 60 feet, or the potion of hovering. Which one do you want to equip? David Vispero, my boy. Thank you for the gift sub. Shadow, thank you for the gift subs. Insta Rage, thank you for the gift subs as well. What does that say? 69? Nice. Is that another wheel spin? Let's see what you get. More gold. So we'll do this and then you can roll. Yeah, fuck it, start rolling. We'll just take the first one. Start rolling, we'll take the first winner. The first winner that comes up is how much gold you get. Bam! Omega with the 19. Solid roll. Oh, fuck. Potion of temporary hit points or potion of hovering. I think potion of temporary hit points. I'm voting potion of temporary hit points for you because I accidentally thought it was already picked. So you equip one of your 2 potions of temporary hit points. You gain 19 additional gold, which means you're at... Oh, Christ, I can't do this. You're at... That 19 was from a previous roll. Oh, wait, what? Was it 9? How's that? No, what are you talking about? It's definitely 19. So it's 148. Thank you. My brain is really not working today. We took the first roll, Omega. That's why I said the words. We're going to take the first roll. So you gain 19 gold, bringing you up to 148 gold that you've got right now. You equip the potion of temporary hit points. So, do you want to keep the cloak of the hunter equipped? Yes or no in the chat room. If it just looks split, I'll deal with it. So the cloak of the hunter is the thing that is giving you a boost to stealth and perception. You have expertise on dexterity, stealth, and wisdom perception checks while that's equipped. You currently have it equipped. Do you want to keep it equipped? I feel like you probably do, yeah. Okay, so the second item... You do this. Magic item equip. You have a second magic item that you can equip. So you currently have the seashell amulet, which gives you water breathing equipped. The amulet of warmth. The amulet of undaunted. Hang on, let me remind. Do you know what I'm going to quickly do here? I'm just going to do this thing that I've been meaning to do every time. I'm going to put a little basic explanation on each one. So the amulet of warmth is keep warm, prevent cold, exhaustion. You've got the amulet of the undaunted, which is advantage against frightened. You've got the Frostheart Orb, which is... Got too many fucking screens. Not enough screens, too many tabs. This gives you immunity to fire. Vulnerable to cold. You've got the Ring of Granite Grasp. Which gives you advantage to avoid being pushed prone. So people can't push you over. You've got Beads of Force, which are grenades. Mantle of Spell Resistance is... I think it's the legendary resistance thing, isn't it? Advantage against spells. So whenever you're forced to make a saving throw. So the Amulet of Warmth. The Amulet of the Undaunted. The Frostheart Orb. The Ring of Granite Grasp. The Beads of Force. The Cloak of the Hunter is equipped. The Mantle of Spell Resistance. Or the Seashell of Water Breathing are your options. For your other magic item slot that you keep equipped here. And your scroll is Wind Wall. It's the only scroll you have, so that's what it is. Now, who was this? David came in. Do we have another wheel spin? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, David. You taking your medicine? I have to ask. Because I want to look after you. I want you to be well. Getting double mantled up. 2 cloaks. Old 2 cloaks, Leary. Can you wear 2 cloaks? In D&D? Does it count? You allowed to do that normally? You can in this. I don't care what 2 things you're equipped. You just look insane. Actually, layers look pretty cool. Layers are in, aren't they? Wear one as a headband, yeah. Alright, Mantle of Spell Resistance it is. So, double cloaked up with Cloak of the Hunter and the Cloak of... or the Mantle of Spell Resistance. So the Mantle of Spell Resistance. Officially. You have advantage on saving throws against spells while you wear this cloak. It's incredible. It's a great item. It's a good idea, I think, to have passive things on right while you go exploring. Okay, so that's that. Bit of upkeep done. I think, yeah, you guys sort of see Lyri, Lancelot, and Snotflap have, you know, an afternoon at this spring, resting, recuperating, revitalized, feeling stronger than ever with those temporary hit points. They pack up their things again and head out. You know, we see their footfalls step away from the spring and that gold coin hidden under that leaf. And they begin on the trail again. I'm guessing you're going to the monument. Is there any other place to even go? Yeah, you want to go to the monument? Really is just a yes or no question, so you can just type it in the chat room, I think. Natural spring completed. Now, the monument. You came here before and then immediately got teleported away, right? Let me pull up my notes for what we had for the monument. This was the spring. This was the... Oh yeah. I remember. So, you saw, as you teleported away, that at the top of this monument there was an amulet, but you didn't actually do the interaction with this, did you? So I think what we see here is eventually again, another half a day. Maybe it's getting quite late in the day at this point of travel before we see kind of a wordless Lyri pointing and talking to Lancelot and Snotflap about going back up this hill towards where this monument is. Thank you, Max, for the gift sub. I appreciate that. Is that a wheel spin? No. So we see them trek around and follow this road, continue to follow the road down towards Badgerbrook. Badgerbrook in the far distance as Lyri leads the group up across this clearing and then up onto this kind of hill which rises quite sharply. And sitting at the top of this hill is this ancient looking dwarven monument, the stonework hewn with dwarven carvings, symbology, kind of a dark granite looking thing, weathered from being up on here and centuries of wind and rain, but still sort of very tall. This thing, as you step up and sort of Lyri approaches this thing, getting closer and closer, you're able to make out that the weathered stone at the bottom, at the base of this thing, depicts stoic looking dwarves with axes held high, standing against an ancient-looking and long-forgotten, long-vanquished enemy. There is, and this is all reminder here, but what did we put? What did I write? The face of a great mountain etched into this pillar, crowned with a dwarven stronghold. Maybe this was the original Badgerbrook, how it looked maybe before, you know, a few centuries passed and it grew into a trade port, and then was overtaken recently by this sort of interloper. And as you approach, there is... Oh, no, you did fight a thing here. Did you fight a thing here? I feel like you did. And then you got teleported away. It was the stone golem, wasn't it? Yes. Yeah, maybe you take a few steps and on the ground are these like pieces of this golem. As yet has, you know, golems are designed to sort of reform and protect the area, but I'm going to say that, you know, it hasn't. It's sitting there at some point over the course of however long, these stones will roll back together and the golem will reform as an ancient protector of this this monument. But you sort of move through the debris and head up towards what you see, this monument. Up close, the runes and carvings glow very faintly, hinting at sort of magic tied to this stone. This is a dwarven memorial to an ancient hero. You can see from the depictions and these drawings, maybe probably Lyrian Lancelot, not so much Snotflapper, discussing what the depictions might mean, coming to the conclusion that a long-lost dwarven king defended his people from this unknown threat that seems to have come up from what Lyria explains to Lancelot is known as the Underdark. Lancelot kind of like horrified to hear about the Underdark in existence. Imagine how terrifying it would be to find out that there's an Underdark and what's down there and what it is. There are just endless tunnels under everywhere with horrific horrors in. Let's see here. You can make me this is your choice, but you get to choose one only. Choose one of 3 options. You can make me an intelligence history check. You know what? I'm going to make it 4. You can make me a wisdom insight check. You can make me an intelligence arcana check. Or you can make me a strength athletics check at this point. Now I know there's an amulet hanging above you and you've got like, I want to snatch the amulet. I take the amulet off the top of the stone. I know that literally like 100 of you are screaming that right now, but just relax. It's fine. I've got it in hand. Everything's going to be fine. Unless have we got a wheel spin? Unless you get a teleport on this wheel spin. From Max. This is Max and David's fault. It's a trap. A trap. 2. Alright. Here's what we're going to do before I roll that then. So, make me a dexterity saving throw. You have +3 to this roll. We take the second roll. Exclamation point. Roll d20 in the chat room. If you want to have a go at rolling the dice. It will pick randomly from one of you. That will be the dexterity saving throw. a 7. There is a moment here where suddenly light rushes across the runes and the etchings on this. The light rushing from the base up. A small sphere of arcane energy wraps itself around the amulet. As it does so, Lyri doesn't manage to jump back quick enough and takes 1d4. What would it be? Maybe radiant damage? Take 3 radiant damage from this. Now, you are an Aasimar, so I think you take half of that, so 2. You lose that temporary hit point, and you go down to 22 hit points as this arcane energy just rushes up this thing, sort of. It's like a heat that rushes up the side of this monument, kind of burns at Lyri's hand as their hand gets a little too close initially to this thing. Now an arcane defensive abjuration sitting around the amulet hanging at the top of this monument. Let's do another wheel spin here after you activated that trap. Another item. Roll me a d20. And we'll take the second roll. A 15. A 15 is a simple lock and key. You have to think about how to use that one. That's what you get. A simple lock and key. So we'll say padlock, right? I'm sure there's a way that you can use a padlock and key in the future. A gift from Max and David. It was actually Insta Rage and Shadow that injured you with radiant damage. So now we come to you being able to make this choice. You can make either. You can choose, and you will only get one option here to interact with this monument. Do you choose Intelligence, History, Wisdom, Insight, Intelligence, Arcana, or Strength, Athletics? You have a -1 to your Arcana and your History check, I think. Oh, hang on, you might have a proficiency in History. History -1. Insight is flat 0, and Athletics is a 3. But obviously, you want to think about how this means you're going to be interacting with this. If it's a if it's Athletics, then it's going to be some sort of forceful action. If it's Arcana, you're trying to figure out the magic. If it's History, you're trying to see if you know anything about this from learning things through history. And Insight is just trying to use your own wits and worldly knowledge to pull any information about what might work with this monument, what it might be about, and how to unlock the treasure. The choice is yours. As always, the choice is yours. We can lock up our bike at the mall. Exactly, yeah. Right. Wisdom insight check. Okay. Make me a wisdom insight check. This is a flat roll, so whatever you get is what it is. The DC is 12. Gotta beat a 12. Take the second winning roll. You'll see it come up with block caps winner. Or winning. Winning. Not that one from Nomi Naomi, luckily. Naomi, don't play the lottery today. It's a waste of your time. Save the dollar. Roll D20, Nator. Exclamation point, roll D20. It's in the title as well if you want to copy paste. An 8. This is a fail. So, you sort of determine some information. You're able to determine that this was a place of pilgrimage for ancient dwarves, where they came to honor the fallen. This monument marks a sort of inaccessible crypt. There's a crypt under here where these heroes were laid to rest, and then, you know, long since this hill and hillock has grown over it. But there's no real answers that you can figure out from looking at the looking for the medallion. There was a medallion up there. That's what it is. Slightly different. I don't know what the difference is between an amulet and a medallion, but it's a medallion. There are runes that run up and down this monument. You can see that around the base that some of these runes are written or sort of inscribed onto pressure stones that can be pressed. And you recognize 6 symbols: an axe, a shield, a mountain, a hammer, a crown, and a forge. But you have no clues from me as to what they are. So because I didn't really get to prepare a thing here, I'm just going to do this. Better over here, isn't it? So you can see that there are a bunch of different symbols on pressure stones that can be pressed around the base of this. 6 of them in total: an axe, a shield, a mountain, a hammer, a crown, and a forge. Print screen that? Well, I'll just do this. What does Lyri do? Press them in alphabetical order. Consult Lancelot. Medals are round metals which usually associated with the achievement of some type. An amulet is technically any trinket that is believed to be infused with magic. Cool, thank you. Press the dwarfiest ones. Press one of them and see what happens. Forge, hammer, crown. Forge, hammer, crown, shield, axe, mountain. Walk like a dwarf and press what feels like. Too late. You said like. God damn it. Press shield with shield. And win the game. The final option on there. Okay, choice is yours. Sorry, I didn't have the thing up on the screen, so it probably made that really annoying. So what does Lyri do? An axe, a shield, a mountain, a hammer, a crown, and a forge. Press them in alphabetical order. Consult Lancelot. Press the dwarfiest ones. Press one of them and see what happens. Forge, hammer, crown, shield, axe, mountain. Walk like a dwarf and press what feels like. Press shield with shield. Win the game. No wonder we suck. All of Lyri's skills are to do with stealing or manipulating people, and we're spelunking around derelict ruins. Yeah, for real. It's funny because we made Lyri with the intention of this being a more sort of world exploration game, right? Where Gary was not, from campaign 1, Gary was not really anything specific. He was just kind of a, you know, Lyri was originally meant to be an all-rounder, but with Gary you had no charisma stat and just tried to charisma your way out of everything. And with Lyri, now that you have a charisma stat, you never use it. Entirely on you. Consult Lancelot. Okay, let's get a roll from Lancelot. So he has got a 10 in intelligence, an 8 in wisdom, and an 8 in charisma. A 4 on his intelligence roll. Lancelot walks around this tower and says, "So, dwarves are what again? And there are creatures that can come up from underground. And this is a monument to both. Right. I'm afraid I don't think we have anything like that where I'm from. And these symbols here can be pressed. A forge, a hammer, a mountain, a shield, an axe. Well, some are weapons. I suppose they can all be forged in some way. The king in this story is, I suppose, important, but I'm afraid I can't make heads nor tails of it. He kind of just goes quiet with his failure. Consult Lancelot. I'll leave these up here if you want to suggest any more. You want to suggest this one? Hammer, forge, shield, crown, axe, mountain. You cannot consult Snotflap because he is not currently equipped. Press forge plate first. Look around area for hints. You've already done that and failed. So let's go with this. Press them in alphabetical order. Press the dwarfiest ones. Press one of them and see what happens. Forge, hammer, crown, shield, axe, mountain. Walk like a dwarf and press what feels like. Press shield with shield. Win the game. Hammer, forge, shield, crown, axe, mountain. Or press forge plate first. The choice is yours. So yeah, I've done it a couple times, but like I like to try and open this up with make the check, because you're going to make the check. The intelligence check or the wisdom check, whatever it is that you're going to do outright, which you did and you failed, so you don't get any of the clues here, which means you just have to solve it. You just got to raw dog the puzzle. Puzzles in this setting are tricky, right? So I'm trying to figure out how to GM for a group of 100 people. Walk like a dwarf and press what feels like. I guess this is a performance check. See if you can walk like a dwarf So +3. Your performance check. Away you go. Start rolling. Exclamation point. Roll D20 in the chat room, or roll D20. Sorry. Is that what I said? What did I say? God, I'm not with it today. I'm sorry. And we take the second roll, not that 6. Let's see how high your performance check will be. The next winning roll. A fucking 20. Dang. Leary says, so you've never heard of a dwarf? Lancelot says, well, yes, but it's not like they're, you know, a species exactly. They're just shorter than the average person, I suppose. Leary says, well, if I was a dwarf, this is what I would do. Leary shrinks down as small as they can and starts kind of walking like a dwarf, but it's really good. It's a really good impression of a typical fantasy dwarf. And Leary just starts pressing buttons and just walking around. Leary says, well, if I was a dwarf, I would at first go to my forge. That's where I begin my work. The forge plate is pressed in. It stays locked in place. Well, let's see. I'm a dwarven hero. Lancelot is immediately taken aback by this. Snotflap ports in instantly.
Is there a dwarf here? Oh shit, that's a good impression of a dwarf.
He sort of nudges Lancelot.
That's a really good impression of a dwarf. You have to trust me.
Leary says, a dwarven hero as a master smith, forging a weapon before becoming king and defending his mountain fortress. Forge, hammer, boom, hits the hammer button. He was trading as a smith, no? Moves to the next, moves around the mountain. Then I suppose, well, I need a weapon, do I not? I need a hammer to forge it. An axe. Oh, I've got to defend my people, though. It's one thing being able to attack, but a real king can defend. I need a shield. Hits the shield button. Then, only then can I become king. Crown button. And thus, the mountain, my final resting place. Hits the button. The spell around the medallion dissipates. Leary kind of shakes off the performance, turning around. Immediately, Snotflap.
Amazing! An amazing performance. What are you doing fighting? You should be in the theater, on the stage, Leary.
Lancelot kind of. Yes, very, very good impression from what I understand. It seems you managed to successfully free the amulet up there. Leary says, it's a medallion. And reaches up, slightly unable to sort of fully reach up to the thing. You will need to make me an acrobatics check in the chat room to climb up. You have a +3 to this check. Exclamation point, roll D20 to collect the medallion. What is this medallion? Oh, yeah, it's this. Okay, cool. And then let me know what you get. A 15. Yeah, I think that's good. You see Leary kind of take a couple of footholds. Now that the magic from this monument has kind of dissipated, you can climb it, placing a hand over some of the weathered stones and climbing up. It's only a little ways up, reaching up and just unhooking the medallion, hopping down and taking a look at this thing. It is the Dwarven medallion. Wait, where did I put it? I don't know. The Dwarven King's Medallion is what it's now called, because I don't know where I put the thing. But I do know what it does. I didn't put it... Oh, I just didn't name it. It's now called the Dwarven King's Medallion. And this is what it does. Another item. So this medallion will provide you with gives the bearer advantage on charisma persuasion checks when interacting with dwarves, which if you ever get to the main quest will be very useful. The Dwarven King's Medallion is what you get. The medallion grants the bearer advantage on charisma persuasion checks when interacting with dwarves. Now, dwarves are the predominant species in Badgerbrook, so when we go back to the world map, which we must, whenever you go back to Badgerbrook, there are a lot of dwarves there. So when it comes to persuasion checks, so this won't work for some of the ones that are hostile towards you, like the head of the watch and stuff. He's just, you know, he's going to need to be intimidated. But maybe with the resistance and stuff, you'll be able to use this in some way to provide you with advantage. Or maybe you can just go and haggle with some of the local market types. Okay, are we heading to the crossroads? This is the monument completed. Yes or no, would you like to go to the crossroads? You can always say no and just go somewhere else here via some sort of bizarre route. But the road pretty much just leads you to the crossroads in terms of how you've done this so far. You've completed this. The wildflowers, natural spring, stone circle, monument. The tower is just a tower. It's where you started out. There's nothing particularly of note there. So you've completed that as well. And then you head to the crossroads next. Yes? Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? You're going to go to the crossroads. Now, I believe I have the crossroads prepared because I thought you were going to go there once and I had to prepare it and then you didn't, huh? So another day of half day of travel, so that's another D20 from the chat room for the encounter table, which I don't know if I made you do between the spring and the monument, but I'll allow it. What and where is the main quest? The main quest is in Badgerbrook, the city of Badgerbrook there. And the main quest is to go and meet with the resistance figures there, who want to take down the current Baron or whatever he is of Badgerbrook, who is kind of an evil interloper who's come in and overtaken and really made the place worse. You know, I'm sure no one in the real world can imagine how that feels. take the second roll. Is that the second roll or the first one? That's the first one. Probably should have just taken that one, but we'll take the second roll. As you travel to the crossroads. A 2. As you travel to the crossroads. You will in fact find yourselves in a spot of bother. On the travel to the Crossroads Tavern and Inn, there is a tavern that sits at a crossroads just outside of Badgerbrook. It's a few hours outside of Badgerbrook, so it's not like just right on the edge of town, but there is a Crossroads Tavern here that serves as a pretty generic, we don't want to go all the way into town, you know, gas station level tavern. But on that journey, unfortunately, you will be running into something. Let's find out what. As we do a random encounter, let me see what we've got. As you guys are walking along, Snotflap says,
What's that over there?
and disappears into a bush. He does this a lot. Now, let's see how this encounter begins. Let's roll a d6 for you guys. 4. And a d6 for them. 1. They will be surprised as Lancelot kicks something. You hear the plate of his sort of greave strike something, and he goes, "What on earth is?" And suddenly, a creature jumps up out of a nearby bush. Green, large eyes, a twisted nose that looks like it's been broken several times, kind of running long and pointed over a large set of sharp teeth, several of them missing. A goblin leaps out, jumping up, terrified, screaming, "Help! Help!" The goblin itself lands awkwardly in front of Lancelot, and appearing from the bushes on the side of this road, a much larger creature wanders out. Boom, boom. Me help! A bugbear. As you must now face off against a goblin and a bugbear during this session. Let me just prepare this battle for you, because it is all completely randomized, of course. Where did I fucking put it? There it is. Another 5 gift subs from Shadow. Desperate to save the day with a Deus Ex Machina. It could happen. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen just after I finish setting up the battle map. Which is for some reason taking forever to load in. Okay, let's bring you over to it. Now, we've got on this battle map, Lyri, Lancey, probably pretty close to one another, and then a goblin, and a bugbear. I feel like this is a pretty rough encounter. So directly in front of Lancelot is the goblin. Coming out from the bushes at the side is the bugbear. Both of these creatures are surprised. So you will get 2 turns. Roll me some initiative, chat. And I will roll for everything else. The goblin will go on initiative 3. The bugbear will go on initiative 12. So a bugbear is like a really big goblinoid thing, but it's kind of like a... This one looks a bit like it's got the face of a dog. Lots of hair. Big brutish muscles. Holding a morning star and wading out of the bushes towards Lyri and Lancelot. Lancelot, of course, will go on an initiative of 19. Now we just need one from Lyri. Humanoid hyena adjacent. Just a weird... Yep, bugbears have big, long, muscular arms. A 10. Plus 3, 13. Just ahead of the bugbear there. Now, it is a surprise round, so Lancelot goes first. Lancelot glances at Lyri and puts a hand to his sword. Does Lyri give Lancelot the go-ahead to attack? We get advantage on initiative. Why? What do you get advantage on initiative from? I don't think you do. Yes, no, yes, no. Okay, here we go. Give Lancelot the green light to attack. Yes? No. I thought I saw it on a character sheet. Making stuff up. So the D&D Beyond sheet has a couple of things that Lyri can't do. I just don't know how to remove them because no one will help me. Give Lancelot the go-ahead to attack. Yes, here we go. Lancelot's first move ever, I guess, will be to attempt to strike this small creature in front of him. On a 9 versus the goblin's AC, which is a 15. Lancelot looks at Lyri, maybe the moment of the... Remember, Lancelot is not the attack. He has only got like a +4 to his attack. +2. He's only got a +2 to his attack. He's not an attack, he's a tank. He brings his sword out and just swings this thing in front of him. The goblin, nimble, does a little cartwheel out of the way of this enormous sword, bringing us to Lyri's turn. What does Lyri do? So Lyri is... I'm going to say, just for showing off, we're going to say that you have the longbow equipped. Just so you can show off to Lancelot. You're welcome. Never say I'm a bad GM. You can attack with the longbow. You can use the wind scroll. You can equip the shield and unequip the longbow. And you can use the potion of temp HP. And anything else that you suggest. Try to intimidate. Tell the goblin we're traveling with Snotflap. We're down with Snotflap. Does the longbow have a pin attack? I have no idea what that means. Doesn't attack and de-escalates the situation, making Lancelot look like the bad guy. Alright, the choice is yours. Pin, in other words, shoot arrows through foot to pin them to the ground to prevent movement. Oh, right. Not really. If you want to try and do stuff like that, I'll always like figure out a way to allow it. It would just be a much higher... maybe you take a negative to the attack roll. So like a -5 to your attack roll. The bow does have a slow thing, yeah. If you hit a creature with an attack. Alright, attacking with the longbow. Give me that attack roll, chat. Which one are you attacking? Goblin or bugbear? When you hit with an attack with the longbow and deal damage to the creature, you can reduce its speed by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. So it's kind of like a pin thing, but not really. The bugbear. Okay. Attack roll. Exclamation point. Roll D20 in the chat room. And we'll see how you do. Lyri has a +8 to this. What? You guys complain about anything and have a +8. Imagine complaining about anything I've ever done for you on this, in this game.
Could be higher, could be better, could be faster, stronger, more agile.
A 19? Fuck. One off. Wait, are you a champion fighter? Does it have to be a melee attack for a champion? Isn't a 19 a crit? Am I crazy? Why have we never... We've got to add this somewhere, huh? Is it all 19s or just melee? Champion fighter. Oh, is it the level? Is that why we don't have it yet? Improved critical. When you're at 3rd level. Oof, clutched. Your weapon attacks score a critical hit on a roll of 19 or 20. So this is a crit. So this is 1d12 plus 3. So what does that mean? It's 2d12 plus 3 or 2d12 plus 6? Do you double all of it or just the dice? I never manually do crits anymore. Crits always confused me because, like, when I first learned crits, like 8 people told me different things. It's the dice. Okay, I thought so. So 2d12 plus 3 damage coming up. You ready for this? 16 damage to this fucking bugbear, dude. That absolutely annihilates him. His HP goes down from 27 to 11. This arrow, launching past Lancelot's head, just strikes this bugbear, goes straight through his cheek, up through the back of his head awkwardly. You see his eye kind of roll inwards and then just jams out of the side of his head, part of this arrow bursting out behind his ear as this bugbear just annihilated by this thing, but then just kind of with one eye looks to Lyri and it is now Lancelot's turn because they creatures were surprised. Let's see if Lancelot can hit again. A fucking natural 20. Lancelot, the goblin, distracted by seeing the bugbear be lobotomized. The goblin turns.
Wait. Martin. Are you okay?
The bugbear says, because he's brain damaged. And then the goblin's head hits the ground. Thunk. Arundite spinning around. Lancelot bringing this thing up. The goblin's blood running off of it as he annihilates this thing. Do you want to shoot another arrow? Yes or no in the chat. Do you want to try and kill the bugbear? Not lethal? Yeah, a non-lethal beheading. Yes. Okay, roll d20. Exclamation point, roll d20 in the chat room. You have a +8. Remember? Remember. Remember. Ah, remember, remember, remember. Is it a 1? Oh, that's incredible. You show off with a 22, a 20, and then a 19, and then a 1. Shit, dude. Roll me another d20. This is a fumble. I'm going to use my other fumble table. My brand new d20 fumble table. Natural 1 fumble table. And see what you end up with. An 8. Echoing failure. The loud noise or unusual stumble you made echoes through the area, drawing the attention of any creatures nearby. I'm going to roll a d2. A 1 is another goblin. A 2 is Snotflap. A 1. Another goblin appears.
What did you do to Martin? It can't be. You made him brain damaged.
A goblin appears, pulling out a scimitar. Would you like to action surge? Yes or no? In the chat room. This goblin will just go on this goblin's initiative of 3. Yes. Would you like to use your action surge to fire another arrow at the bugbear? Yes or no? Yes. Roll me a d20. You have a +8. Let me know what you get. Is it another fucking 20? Are you kidding me? So you do another 2d12 plus 3. Lyri turns to the bugbear and says, he's not brain damaged. He's dead. An arrow straight through the center of his head. A bullseye sound. Dong! The bugbear falls. The goblin says,
No, it can't be. He ain't never been killed before. It can't be. It ain't never happened before. It can't be. Ah, no, not Martin. I'll kill you. I'll kill you, I will.
he's going to fire a short bow at you. Because I'm not going to let you move. A 16 versus Lyri's AC without the shield. 14 is going to hit you. You couldn't have outrun this anyway. That's why I didn't bother. You couldn't have outrun it anyway. 6 piercing damage. Ow. You little shit. Lancelot. Can he make it over to the goblin? Can he do another one? He can. Runs towards this goblin. Another strike with Arondite. 11. A miss. The goblin dancing out of the way. Would you like to fire an arrow at the goblin? Yes or no? This might be the quicker way to do it. And if you want to do any other weird shit, just type no and then we'll go into a vote. Didn't we have temporary HP? You had... No, you didn't. You lost that temporary HP on a trap at the monument. Yes. Okay. Roll D20 in the chat room. Exclamation point, roll D20. Favorite cereal, thank you for the 34-month resub 9 minutes ago. I missed it. Let's see what you get. +8 to the roll. Can you do another natural 20? What? Dude, champion fighters, bro. Fuck, this is gonna be insane. 2d12 plus 3. 13 damage. An arrow launches through underneath Lancelot's armpit as he swings down towards this creature and it dances out of the way. An arrow striking it Dead center of the forehead again. Lyri spinning the longbow around and placing it on their back. Lancelot turns to Lyri. Exceptional archery, Lyri says. Well, you not too bad with that sword yourself. The two of them successful in taking down the two goblins and the bugbear. Random encounter. And just to make you feel better, after like kind of looking around the area, it's clear that these goblins and this bugbear had set an ambush on the road, but they just weren't expecting anyone to walk along at that precise moment while they were still setting the ambush. Returning to the road, you gain a bunch of XP, actually. Let me give you the XP. So you get 150 XP. So that is 483. Yep. 1,483 XP. Well done. Sort of breaking the arrow and pulling it out and sort of dealing with the minor wound. Lyri says, there's a tavern just up the road. We'll head to that. I don't know what happened to Snotflap. I'm sure he'll find us. Lancelot says, very well. Lead on. We'll tend to that wound there. Continuing down the path just a little ways, the Crossroads Tavern appears. Coming up and around, looking up at the sign, Lyri sees that it reads the Tanglefoot Tavern. And just before stepping over the threshold, the door bursts open. A very small creature steps out. Purple eyes, pink skin, pink eyes, pink purple eyes. Pink purple eyes. A little red and white Christmas hat. A red outfit. 6 arms? 8 arms. A gnome, but a strange looking gnome. Sort of blonde haired. Bundles forward and says,
Oh shit! Oh shit! I'm in a lot of trouble now. Oh, my wife's gonna kill me, I tell you.
looking up at Lyri. Lyri looks down and says, I'm so sorry, I almost bumped into you. Excuse me, we're just heading into the little gnome looks them up and down and says,
Wait, you are good with a bow? Are you good with that sword?
Well, yes, I suppose we are, but, the little gnome says,
You're a mercenary, is that?
Yes. Wait, was Gary Scottish?
Oh, you're mercenaries, right?
A 2-hour sleep.
Are you mercenaries?
Lyri says, what happened to your voice?
Oh, don't worry about that. I've been having trouble since coming here.
You don't understand. I've travelled from a faraway land. Lyri says, yeah, I so is he.
Right. Listen. My name is Santa Gary. And I've lost all of my gifts. I need someone to help me collect them. Are you a mercenary? I could hire you. I've got... What do you need? Gold? Items? Experience points.
Well, I suppose we could do with all of those things.
Right.
Come along. It's time for the Christmas episode. The Money Printer. And in a puff of snow and magic, a piece of Shadow's artwork, by the way. This is what you're missing out on because Shadow won't join the Discord. Gary whisks and teleports Lancelot and Lyri away. At the exact same time, there is sort of a moment where, sort of just outside of this inn, we see Snotflap appear.
Oh shit. Where did everybody go?
And that's the end of the session. Next week, tune in for the Christmas episode, The Money Printer. Gnome Santa Gary has lost all of his gifts. They're on the wheel spin. Pay to give them to Gnome Santa Gary. For every 2 gifts returned, Gnome Santa Gary grants Lyri random Christmas gifts such as magic items and straight up baller XP. That is what I wrote down last week. Oh, I knew there was something else because I thought it was part of that. You remember earlier on when I said, oh, there was something else I wanted to do? I was meant to take something from Arcane Archer, Battlemaster Champion, Samurai Brute Knight, Scout or Sharpshooter. So we'll do that as well. I wrote down those words. The Christmas episode next Sunday, the 22nd, Christmas Gary returns. Gary from Campaign 1 returns in a shocking and sudden Christmas episode designed exclusively to get me as much money as possible. I mean, so that we can all have fun. Obviously. All right. Well, that's the end of today's session. Thank you so much for watching it, everyone. Where were you on the wheel spin here? Did you get another one? Nope. Sucks to be you, huh? Didn't get another one into. All right. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Start with 1 wheel spin. All right. We're done here. Thank you again, everyone, for all the subs. Been very generous the last few weeks as well. I very much appreciate it. It is going to get me through January. I'm terrified of January tax. Hi, Stella. Bye, Stella. This is the end of the stream. Everyone say hello to Stella and then immediately type another message in chat that says goodbye, Stella. And then shoot Stella. Don't shoot Stella. Don't shoot. And then then we'll return and we'll carry on with the exploration of the area. That was a fun one. I was actually pretty sure that we were going to have no combat this whole thing because you'd already completed the monument, and I wasn't sure. There's obviously teleports and stuff that can happen, but we'll do a Christmas episode as we help Gary. The stunning return of Gnome Gary, who is a gnome but doesn't sound like my traditional gnomes, and therefore I have to remember that he's Scottish. I'm gonna write that down. That's crazy. Do you see? You guys maybe didn't believe me. Do you remember the other day when I said I don't remember the voices well enough, and that's why I don't do the ones that are like uncomfortable for me? Uncomfortable is a weird word to use. Like. Not as natural for me to just reach and grab when I do voices and stuff. That's why I forget everything all the time. I am feeling a little unwell today though, so I just feel kind of woozy and strange, and I'm gonna blame it on that. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. The first high-pitched Gary voice. Well, that is the traditional gnome voice. whenever I have a gnome in D&D,
They speak like this. Hello, it's me. I'm a gnome.
that's how they speak. But I forgot that Gary doesn't.
Hey everyone, I'm a gnome.
But Gary's different. Gary's based on Gary. He's from Scotland. He's from Glasgow. I can't be talking like a real little gnome.
Why? What's wrong with the gnome?
Christmas episode next week. I'll see you there for that one. Thank you everyone for watching the stream. I hope you had fun. I'm gonna go and make some dinner, play a little bit of Marvel Rivals, and watch Deathless on Table Story. So don't forget Deathless is on tonight. I hope you guys had fun. We'll see you next week. The return of Gary, maybe Seg, maybe Death will show up as Lancelot and Leary Head. Off, up, and away, and at them, and into the world of Christmas. What's this? What's this? There's magic everywhere. What's this? There's white stuff in my hair. What's this? I can't believe that Gary is still alive. Oh my god. What is this? Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon and evening or morning or what? White stuff in my hair? You wish. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to continue with Minecraft Mondays. The schedule continues. Can someone make me a very pretty weekly planner with each game on it? Thank you. And a thing that says closed for business on Saturdays. And then we can hang that. Turtle Sanctuary tomorrow. See you then. Bye.